thanks so much. I've got a lot of time, and I'm hoping to do a lot of Q&A. I think at some level, a lot of you know some of my spiel. I'll go through it. But I'd like to engage with you guys as much as possible, because I think there's a lot of questions, and there's a whole lot of answers I think I have. To answer the India question real quick, I was there for 2 weeks, 2 years ago, thinking about importing wine over there. And the laws are, you're absolutely, you think the laws suck here, the laws are atrocious. And by the time you import $2 there, it's $688 million a bottle. The taxes are absurdity. So, I think it's gonna be a little, they gotta change some laws. What I was trying to say was, 3 years ago I came here, actually right before shit hit the fan. I don't know how many of you were here, and I was saying, listen guys, you gotta start caring about the customer. My new book, The Thank You Economy, is strictly about that. I told that woman, please don't rely on me. Here's what the wine business has done for the last 20, 30 years, and we all know this. This is not new. I really do believe that wineries and brands, not that they've been lazy, that there's a lot of circumstances. We're in an awkward business. We have a 3-tier system. There's a lot of layers between you and the end user, right? It's an extra piece that you're not used to. And you have less control because you're giving it to a 3rd-tier system, and then when it goes to the retailer, if you go direct to retailer, you can make your own deals. I've been thrown under the bus many a times in my career by my distributor telling the winery that I undersold the price when we agreed to the price. So I've been plenty upset about it as well. There's multiple layers. But I truly believe, and I believe this firmly, and it has changed in the last 18 months, but I think it is still very far away from where it needs to be. I really, 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 really don't think that most wineries care about their end user enough. I really believe that. And by the way, I'm only catering that to this audience. I believe that about business. I believe about what I talk about in this book is that we are now living in a platform where you can communicate one-on-one with the end user. It is my opinion that in 2011, people mentioning your brand on Twitter. How many people here go on search.twitter.com every single day? Raise your hand. Great number. I'm happy with 12 of a room 300. I will tell you that it is grossly negligent for you to not do that every single day in today's society. People are talking about your brand, pro, con, and indifferent, and you have an ability to engage with them, and you're leaving it on the table. I ask you, would you go to a restaurant, Mustard's, and you're sitting next to somebody, and they're talking about your wine brand? Would you not come over and say hello? Would you not try to comp that glass of wine? Would you not try to engage with that person? Meanwhile, in a scalable way, which is freaking awesome, it is happening right now on the social webs, and you guys are not engaging with it. You're leaving it. And you're leaving it for characters like me. And I promise you, you do not want to do that. Jesus. I would be so I'm pretty obnoxious to begin with. Do you know how obnoxious I would have been if the internet was around in high school and I didn't have to go to the library to read those bullshit books? I mean, the consumer is so much smarter. They know so much more. I mean, I've got 22-year-olds rolling around and they're like, Gary, you got any pig pool in the store? Like, Jesus, things have changed. People are so much more educated. We live in a very emotional, passionate industry. There's so much upside for us. But what's happening is we are not embracing quick enough the new technologies. I'm happy with what I'm seeing, but there's so much more that can be done. And most of all, and this is the big part, I would say 95% of people in this room do not view social media as anything other than a tactic or a campaign. And that's where you're going to lose. See, what social is the way that marketing is going to be. What you may not know about these millennials is this. They have been marketed to from the second they started breathing. And their bullshit radar is dramatically better than yours. And that's why we're seeing people concerned about the premium for the sake of premium. Because these new consumers don't care. They don't care even about Parker, and they don't even care about Seller Tracker because, everybody talks about Seller Tracker being a new thing. Well, listen, those are fake. Listen, I just trained a new wine guy. He's been tasting wine for 2.5 weeks. He's leaving a crap load of scores on Seller Tracker. Should his average matter as much as yours? Probably not. But he's moving the number. And the new consumers know that because they're living in a world with Yelp and they know the downfalls of that. The problem is people hear buzzwords and they just think this is the new thing, right? There's a whole lot of lazy work being put into the marketing. And more importantly, the guy who built this town. I mean, yes, and I give tons of respect to the Joe Heitzes of the world and other people, but Robert Mondavi went and shook a shitload of hands. He went and put this brand on his back in a lot of ways. If you really look at what happened there and how much he hit the market, there's always going to be that. I want you to virtually hit the market. You can sit nice and cozy in your winery, tasting room that's all marbled out and engage with fans every day of the week. That is absolutely in play, and it costs you nothing. The fact that Ustream and Skype and all these platforms are in place and they cost you no overhead, other than actually caring about the end to convert customers to buying stuff, is the skill set that I have right now giving this presentation. The skill set going forward to win customers' business is going to be the skill set needed when we take these tables away and we all drink wine together, and how you work the room in a cocktail party. The best person in business going forward is going to be the person that knows how to be the best hostess, not the person that makes the best slides in a PowerPoint presentation. That is a substantial cultural shift, and one that will impact every single person's business in this room. And the people that know how to adapt to it and excel in it win. In the 1940s, the three biggest sports were boxing, horse racing, and baseball. Boxing's not doing so well anymore. Things change, and so athletes stopped wanting to be boxers and they started wanting to be baseball players, or football players, or basketball players. Things are going to change. Your skill sets have changed. It's no longer about having a really cool creative ad that you stick in the Wine Spectator and you pay 30 G's for, and it's going to be all awesome. That game doesn't work. Nobody's consuming page 37 of the Wine Spectator anymore. Sorry. It is scary to everybody in this room how many people buy by the label. And then if they don't buy by the label, they buy by the rating. And then if they don't buy by that, it's what's on the end cap. And then maybe in the small, declining growth of specialty stores, they have a relationship. And they're going to Wine Searcher. And they're more educated than ever. They know stuff. They know the price, they know how you made it, they know the ratings. You can't hide that 81 from the Enthusiast anymore by saying 92 Spectator. They know it all. And so what happens in a world where content is a commodity and it's at their fingertips when they shop? How are you going to break through? I think the way you're going to break through is the way a small town merchant broke through. Service and caring. That as all this new stuff is happening, the guys who built this unbelievable brand, the guys who built this brand in the 60s and 70s, the way they built it, that's going to be the way you have to build your business. You actually have to have real relationships. And it's going to take knowing things. How many of you have a Tumblr account for your winery? Don't lie, I'm going to check. Raise your hand. 1.5? What does that have? Awesome. 3, Tumblr, growing by 250 million page views a week. Let me say it again. Their growth is ridiculous. 250 million page views a week. Very artsy vibe, very young. The kind of crowd that would love to retumble some pictures of your vineyard or an artistic shot of your Pinot Gris grape. Really interesting, really growing, pretty much the number 3 social network. Just like I stood here 5 years ago and said Twitter and got no hands, these 3 hands, I already paid attention to the 3 that got a Napster hat, makes sense. You know, every person in this room will have a Tumblr account for their winery in 24 months. There's no E before the R in Tumblr. So what does this all mean? Here's what it means. We've all watched the last 5 years change our industry, right? You know, the game is substantially different. Yes, the economy has impacted it. Great. I still sell plenty of wine at 80 bucks a bottle. Why? Certain factors. Why have some wineries stayed the course and some aren't? Because press has been diluted, no question. So the ones that were a little bit more new and a little bit more fly-by-night, the 94 or 95 from Parker didn't matter as much, right? And so that was an impact. 2, we've seen some brands engage. You know, Twisted Oak comes to mind. He's executed, he's cared about his end user, he's engaged. That's worked. So you think about what's happened. Why have these things happened? We've seen bloggers, you know, whether it's Dr. Vino or, you know, Alder for Monography. We've seen radio shows. We've seen all sorts of stuff happen there. Look, Jancis Robinson. Let's call a spade. Jancis didn't mean shit in America 8 years ago. Because I give Jancis an enormous amount of credit, and she's jumped on the Twitter vote, and she's engaged with people, she matters a lot more. We're selling wine at Wine Library now based on Jancis. You've got people like James Suckling leaving the Wine Spectator and doing his own thing. You know, he's an interesting version of what I do. I like it. You know, he's speaking to a certain crowd, but guess what? Brandon calls me yesterday and goes, hey, what's going on? I go, nothing. He goes, check this out. We sold 97 cases of Bonfi Brunello based on a James Suckling score today. Interesting. Interesting. You know, dynamics are shifting. But what's most important is that you have an opportunity to engage with your user. And there's so much innovation going on. I don't know if you guys saw tastingroom.com. You know, little bottles. There's innovation going on.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Roberts from 1WineDude.com. I'm here at the Culinary Institute of America in St. Helena, beautiful Napa Valley. Every time I come here, it's like I'm contractually obligated to be on a panel, so I'm on a panel at an event. And here I am with the keynote speaker, who pretty much needs no introduction. He probably hears that a lot. But I'm going to call him best-selling author Gary Vaynerchuk.
Thank you
That's
so
pretty
much.
wild.
It is wild.
How does that feel? How does that intro
Every
feel?
English teacher I ever had has emailed me and said, this is a travesty. Out of all the kids that I ever taught, you were in last place of who I thought would be a best-selling author. So I've ruffled some feathers in North Hunterdon High School in New Jersey.
Well, they're about to eat some more crow because I got a sneak peek at the new book, Thank You Economy. And it's like, it's not good, it's like idea virus good. So
Thanks, man.
those people, market people out there who know what I'm talking about, it's seriously awesome. So, we got only a few minutes, and I thought I'd do something fun because we got a lot of heavy topics and marketing and big stuff going on. It's been fun, but it's been kind of heavy in this conference.
You did a really good job, by the way.
Thank you, you too.
I know you guys know he's awesome. Yeah, you guys know I'm over the top and ridiculous. He was very, very good. You were.
Oh, but amazing keynote by this guy, by the way. So, what I thought I'd do is, you know I rate wines A to F,
Yes.
so it's like a...
School.
Yeah, and plus or minuses are legal.
Yep.
Okay, so what I thought we'd do is I'm going to toss out some wine region names.
And I'm going to score them?
And I want you to score them
Cool.
on their ability to, their current ability in your mind to sort of leverage the stuff that you talk about in the new book, leverage the stuff about interacting with their customers through internet and social media. Let's
Can I
start.
save you a lot of time?
Let's start. No, let's do it. Come on. All of them? Napa.
D plus.
Whoa, we've never given D plus. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. Sonoma.
C minus. I've seen a lot more. Sonoma's had some players in there do a couple good things. Okay.
Argentina.
D minus.
Chile.
D minus.
Woo! Bordeaux. I know where this is going.
F plus.
Any other region in France?
You know, listen, and I hope, I have no feel for how many of you know me. I'm not saying this because I'm trying to be a jerk or I'm the crazy wine guy. I don't believe that wine people can. And by the way, this is my thesis on all business. I'm not picking on the wine industry. I go do a lot of consumer brand stuff, and I have this feeling. Companies and regions don't care about their end user. Do you know what regions spend their money on? Do you know what the wines of Bordeaux spend their money on? Paying sommeliers to be their voices in the market and do events. They're not talking to the people that want your show. You know what I like about you? Why I agreed to do this? Because as Sue knows, we need to get the hell out of here. Yes, you're a good-looking dude, and I love the patch, but what I really am doing is that I support with what you're doing. You're doing a good thing because you engage, and you said something up there. You said, in the last year and a half, I've been really seeing it. Here's what I know. In the last year and a half, you've been doing it. You've been engaging. You know, I saw it 5 years ago. I was feeling it, right? Like, you care about your audience.
I care about you guys.
But it's true. That's why you're relevant.
Send me chocolate.
And so I very much believe that if the wines of Lebanon, but it's true, if the wines of Alsace, if Napa Valley engaged more with the end user, every single person right now, while you're watching this, open another tab, Control-T, go to search.twitter.com and type in any wine term. You know, pick a varietal. Go Shiraz, go Syrah, go Viognier, go Roussanne, go Weird on Me, go Chenin Blanc Late Harvest. I don't really care. Type it in. People are talking. So how in the world are the regions and the wineries not engaging the winemakers with these people? They're there. They're in a cocktail party. They're asking you. They're asking you to talk to them. I don't think anybody's doing it.
And it costs you pretty much nothing.
It costs you time, which is valuable. But you're wasting your time on a lot of dumb things when you could be doing this.
Totally agree. So, Wine World, you don't get good grades, I'm afraid. But that
Don't worry, Wine World. I was just giving you the grades on my normal report card.
But I think you guys out there, especially the wine folks that are watching, the industry peeps, you're going to buy the book. Thank you, Economy.
Yeah, but forget about the book. It's a wine thing. Download the app, Daily Grape. Download the app.
Do it. DailyGrape.com. Check it out.
Cool.
Brother, thank you so much.
Cheers. Cheers. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. And this, my friends, is the Thunder Show.